Let's see. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, good.
No.
Good. Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to start out with a prayer because I know I don't normally start out with prayer, and the reason I do that is because I see a lot of people in the church, they'll get up and they'll say, Lord, I pray that these words be your words, and so that's what we call spiritual manipulation. The pastor should have done that way before he got up in front of the church. That's something that we need to pray before for a long time. D.L. Moody said, man cannot talk to man about God until the man has first talked to God about the man. So it's the pastor's duty to be praying and fasting and crying out to God for the people that he teaches. This is very important.
I just want to mention I brought in some magazines and books that might be helpful to people walk with Christ.
Okay, yeah, I would like to go over them.
They're sitting right there.
All right, thank you.
They're truth. I'm not going to bring a lie in here.
Okay, all right.
Let me look at those. I had that power one and that was it. I'm glad I don't smoke anymore. I quit 3 years ago. Yeah. It was a hard habit. It ain't as easy as you think. Thank you for serving us, brother. Am I explaining? As long as it's not Jehovah's Witness or any Mormonism, that's okay. All right.
I think you're one of the leaders here at the soup kitchen here, or are you a pastor by chance?
I'm a pastor, yeah.
They're more self-helpful than anything.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering after you're done with this message or something, if you have someone who wants to listen to prayer on something.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm always available to you guys. And some of you guys probably know a little bit about my story. I wanted you guys to maybe, I want to give my testimony where that honors God and doesn't draw attention to myself, but I also want you guys to learn a little bit about me so you know first off who it is that's teaching and who it is that, so that you can relate to me, you know, because I'm just like you guys. There's no difference. When I was a kid, of course, I grew up in a violent home, like most of us. A lot of drug abuse, a lot of alcoholism. My mom would beat me like relentlessly. Of course, I would burn down the houses. I would kill all the animals. I was a messed up kid. I don't remember much before God delivered me, but I remember liking to kill the animals. I remember I liked it a lot, and I was a messed up kid. My mom sent me to a Christian home when I was a young teenager because she would send me to my grandparents, to uncles, to friends, and nobody wanted me because I would, of course, burn down the houses and kill all the animals, and I was literally a demoniac. I was a little demoniac. My mom told the Kahlberg family that the reason that they sent me there was because she had stolen from a witch when she was pregnant with us, me and my twin sister, and that the witch put a curse on her womb. And so my mom, who at the time wasn't a Christian, sent me off to the Kahlberg family to have them cast demons out of me. Now, C.S. Lewis says that there's two errors that human beings fall into when it comes to the devils. They either have an unhealthy interest in them, or they don't believe in their existence at all. And either error you fall into, the devils are pleased with whichever error you choose. So, now, in Scripture, the Bible doesn't try to prove or disprove the existence of angels or demons. It's implied in Scripture that the original readers already knew of their existence. So, well, we don't want to have an unhealthy interest in them. But like I've said before, mechanical physicists will tell you that the distance between the nucleus within an atom and the electron or proton within an atom is relatively speaking the same distance between the Earth and the Sun. So everything we see is mainly made up of energy and very little matter. In fact, the reason we see things is because light bounces off of... The reason we see grass is green is because the grass absorbs in the spectrum of the light all the other colors except for green, and the green is reflected to our eyes, and so we see the grass as green. And so creation is mysterious. It's a mystery. It's very, and I don't claim to know all about it, but it's very interesting to study physics and different scientific disciplines, because the more I don't learn to believe. No, I believe, therefore I try to learn more, because I get to learn more about God through what He has created. And so, when we look at creation, we can see things about God without even reading the Bible or having any revelation from Scripture. We can see that God, by looking at the ocean, we can see that God is powerful. When we see a storm, we can see that God is powerful. Because an effect is either equal or the cause. You have what's called cause and effect. So if I see a massive storm, I know that whatever created this storm must have been more powerful than the storm. Otherwise, because this is logic, this is reason. When I look at the ocean, I can say whoever created this ocean must have been very vast and powerful. And so we can glean things from creation about God, like Scripture says, that what may be known about Him is evident to them, so that even His eternal power and Godhead, so that man is without excuse. So the atheist tries to atheist means atheist. Theist means, in the Greek, comes from theos, it means God, and so they're saying basically anti-God. They suppress the knowledge of God through their unrighteousness or their wickedness. Because, it's only a fool would think that there's no God. If I walk down the beach and I see my name written in the sand, I'm going to know that somebody wrote my name in the sand. And so, but I don't want our faith to rely upon scientific or cunning craftiness of words of men, but the fact that, it's just logical. The existence of God is logical. The atheist says that everything created was made out of nothing, and the theist says that everything was created by God. So which is easier to believe? It's a lot easier to believe that everything was created by God rather than everything just came from nothing, because we all know what size of a massive explosion nothing makes. You don't put a bomb in a junkyard and get a brand new 2004 Cadillac DeVille. You don't put a bomb in the Library of Congress and get an Encyclopedia Britannica. So, it's just illogical. Atheists they want to have no accountability to God, so they try to take Him away. But that's just like the guy who tries to close his eyes and say there's no sun. It doesn't change the fact that God still exists. The sun's still there. So, at any rate, when I went to the Colbert family, I had, for the first time in my life, I had an opportunity to see a healthy, functioning, satisfying family. Because as a kid, I had seen my mother raped like 5 times in front of me before I was a teenager. I'd seen my mom shoot at the cops, the cops shoot my mom. So I've seen a lot of horrific things. I don't remember much of my childhood, but the things that I do remember make me not want to remember the rest. If I remember correctly, the first person that I remember seeing, my mom took off and I followed her down the street, and there was a biker party, and they're in there beating her with a baseball bat and raping her. And so I went back, and if I remember right, I got the .22 and I came back, and you guys know how that story probably ends. Well, it's axiomatic I'm not going to explain it. We've all had rough times in life growing up, and I want you guys to be able to relate to me as well, which is one of the reasons why I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I don't want to draw attention to myself. I want to draw attention to God who delivers. When I was before when I like I said before, when I tried reading the Bible, I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't understand it. But I was looking at a life sentence in Louisiana, and so I tried reading it all day, every day, and doing everything that it said, because I knew that only God could deliver me from that life sentence, and He did. 9 times actually in 4 countries. I left this country when I was a youngster because my son had been molested by somebody, and I actually hurt somebody that had nothing to do with it. And then I left the country, and I found myself in Mexico. I didn't know the language, I didn't know the customs or anything, and I'd been kidnapped. God delivered me multiple times.